Hey y'all, it's Rhegis from the MorrisMansionBlog.com. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how I'm going to take my daughter's room, and here's what it kind of looks like right now. It is a blank space. I really have not done anything with it but decorate since we moved in about 4 years ago now. She used to have wallpaper on her walls, on that back wall that is heavily patched with joint compound, but we are going to fix that today and start doing a faux plaster look on her walls. If you want to see how we did it, keep watching. Hey guys, so we're finally starting on my daughter's room. I've given you kind of a 360 view of it, and I'm going to do lots of DIY in here and also a kind of faux plaster look on the wall. The reason this looks like this is because we had wallpaper previously on this wall, and when we pulled it off, I should have used a heat gun because it ripped the drywall. So I've patched all of the drywall holes and where it ripped, and I'm just gonna leave it since I'm going for a textured kind of, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Roman clay, lime wash, faux plaster look. We just want some texture with our pink walls. So she has requested pink. We are using Rose Bisque by Benjamin Moore. Let's get started. First, we're gonna take everything off this wall, and since my daughter will still be sleeping in here, we're gonna just do one wall at a time. If you saw my video last week, you'll recognize the dollhouse there in the corner. She still loves this thing and plays with it all the time. When I was painting some this weekend, she was actually in here playing with it, and so it's a really sweet piece that we love. So I took my paint color here, which is Rose Bisque. I had it color matched at Lowe's. I'm using a satin finish, and I have mixed it with probably about half and half of water, maybe a little bit less, maybe more like 75-25, and we're just gonna give this technique our best shot. A rag I'm gonna play with, and I'm gonna make it damp. Do it in crisscrossing motions just to give it some texture. This is a really light color, so it is going to take lots of coats. It'll probably get worse before it gets better. Well, so let's keep going. Again, please don't do what I'm doing here if you try this technique. Wear some gloves. I wise up later in the video, but I had paint covering both of my hands. Before I even finished like the lower part of this section, my hands were covered and I could peel the paint off, and it was all under my nails, and it was just a nightmare to get off. And I did this twice before I realized that I needed to have some kind of glove or just a barrier with the rag. So, but as you can see, it does get a little more opaque the more you build it up. It was really opaque on the joint compound and not so much on my wall, but enjoy the montage and you'll see how it's starting to look. To say I'm obsessed is an understatement. As you can see, I don't like to tape, and at this point in the decision-making process, I was still fully planning on adding the paint color to the baseboards and the window trim that you'll see me add later. And that's what my daughter still wants, but I really actually like the white contrast with this dusky mauve pink. I think it looks really classy and timeless, and gives a nice contrast, which I've learned is very important in design. So that's why I am not taping, and I'm putting the paint on the baseboard. I also wanted to mention that because I started with a damp rag, when I would go over the joint compound, it does kind of re-wet it and start to kind of smear it into the paint. This was not a big deal for me because that was the look I was going for, a kind of faux plaster look, but it's just something to note if you try this technique. You can either mix the joint compound in with the paint. I've seen people do that technique, or you could just use the brush or a dry rag. And can you just see how the more I build up the color, it just gives such a subtle variation and texture to the walls. Oh, I'm obsessed. All right, so day 2 in here, I got a second coat done on this back wall, and see how all that joint compound just kind of blends in nicely. And now I did this wall most recently, and a little bit of that wall. I need to put her room back together today because she needs to sleep in it. And then I'll do this wall at some point. But I'm just trying to do a wall at a time. And as you can see, I'm getting it on all of the window and the baseboards because I've got some on the ceiling because I'm gonna add some kind of molding on the ceiling. I don't know what, but she wants her ceiling to stay the color it is, and I need to trim out the window, and then I'm gonna paint the trim, the baseboards, and the doors in this pink color. Again, it is Rose Bisque by Benjamin Moore, and I had it color matched at Lowe's. I got a Valspar paint. Yeah, so it's it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, so I'm about to head to the hardware store. Do y'all want to see how I measure things? Because it's pretty comical. So my mark was right here. And how I say that is, it was 2 ticks past the 58.5 marker. Good morning, friends. It is day, I don't even know what, of painting this room. So today I'm gonna try and get this wall and this wall done. I don't know how much I'll get done before I have to go get my daughter. And today is the solar eclipse, so I'm gonna have to stop a little early to go outside and look at that. But get coffee first. Let me show you the progress I got up to yesterday. The window trim put on. And I'm still trying to decide. I cannot decide whether I want to paint the trim all pink, which is what my daughter wants, but she's 4, so she may not always know what the best decision is. Or whether I want to leave it white. I really actually like the white with the texture. I think it'll help the paint texture not get lost to have a contrasting trim. Now, I'm not saying we have to do white. She does want her doors to be blue. So maybe a really pretty blue. I don't know. Hey y'all, so it is late. I finished up painting this room last night, and I'm not going to be able to do any more on it. I haven't touched it since Monday morning, and all of the walls are painted. I'm very happy with them. My daughter loves it. We both love the color, and I'm trying to decide on the next steps and get her opinion on things. But she came down with a fever yesterday, tested positive for strep today, so I have had to play mommy all day today and didn't get to put the room back together or anything. And so I am going to have to make this a 2-part series. I was already gonna have to, but who knows how many parts it'll be now. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys next week. As always, thank you so much for stopping by the mansion, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.